Right. Okay. Hi. Um, right. So, if you're doing the work, as like I am, I just want to say it's a good time now to take some time off. I would just say, I'd recommend take 15 days off, or at least 15 hours. If you're a workaholic or something, uh, but at least 15 hours. What day is it today? Tuesday. Yeah. A good day to take some time off. Take some time off on a Tuesday. Take 15 hours off, or at least. But yeah. And if you want to take 15 days off, or even 15 months, just relax. You got to relax. Chill out. Um, doing the work, you've got to let your brain, your right brain, like give you some feedback, and it only gives you feedback when it's relaxed. It waits for you to be completely relaxed or completely stressed out. But I always find it's best if you do these things when you're completely relaxed. You just get a general, much more pleasant feeling. I find it more easy to deal with. So, for example, the right brain comes to people in their dream space when they're dreaming. For example, people that dream, they go to sleep and they dream. One of the main things about this, I think, is to connect with your right brain, because most people are so left-brained. The only way they can really connect with their right brain on a regular basis is through sleeping and dreaming. Because your left brain is basically a word hoarding like entity. Just sort of like it just tells you a story about stuff. It just goes, this is that, this is that, this is that, this is this, this is that, this is that, and it just goes on and on all through your daytime. You're constantly your life is being arranged by your left brain. And it gets boring and tedious, and it makes terrible mistakes and doesn't like give you a chance to sort of like intervene if it can't. It just takes over if you're not careful. If you don't make a real effort to stop it, it will take over. So having a practice, like for example, doing nothing. This is from Zen Buddhism. It's like a proper tradition. It's like well established for like over 1,000 years, as far as I know. And one of the main practices is just basically sitting down doing nothing, because that gives your right brain. This is how my interpretation anyway. It gives your right brain a chance to manifest, and you get kind of visionary experiences. If you're just sitting there doing nothing, your brain starts working how it's supposed to work. Especially if you eat the food that you feel like eating. If you're just totally at rest, you haven't got no problems, you think, what does my body want to eat? Some berries, and then maybe some, whatever, some steak and mushrooms or something, or a bit of fish, or I don't know, whatever it is, it could be anything. We've all got different tastes, haven't we? I like berries at the moment. I mean, it's a time of year here in the UK. It's like just late July, middle of July. I can just taste them. I can smell them. Maybe it's this wine. Oh, it's the wine. Yeah, it's very nice wine. Very smelly. But I've been eating quite a lot of berries lately. Raspberries, blueberries, strawberries. And the berries are just starting to come out in the wild. The blackberries are coming out. I like berries. There's loads of energy from berries. I like to eat big piles of them, you know, all in one go, and just have it as a meal. Just a big load of berries, all mixed up, you know, nice ones. I don't really like the frozen ones. I much prefer them fresher, obviously, you know, fresh berries, you know, they're nice. In England, you can only really get fresh strawberries, you know, really good fresh strawberries in sort of like June and July, really, you know. The rest of the year, they're just not the same. You know, when it's really hot, you get the best strawberries. They're fresh, they're juicy, they're sweet. You know, you just feel that they're doing you good. They make a really good breakfast. You know, half a pound of strawberries and 4 ounces of raspberries or blueberries. You know, makes a really good breakfast this time of year for me. Am I making a video? Oh dear. Oh yeah, so right, yeah. Just have some time off. You know, it's so good, you know, just to sort of like find stuff that you don't need to do and just don't do it. It's great. You know, I'm you know, I'm getting better at this. I consider myself not an expert, but like an amateur, you know, and heading towards professional, like an accomplished amateur, like doing nothing, you know. Ah. You know what? I'm thinking if you guys don't start helping me out with making videos, I'm going to get a girlfriend who can help me. You know, I'm getting fed up with you guys. I'm going to get a girlfriend, I think, who knows how to work computers. It's not going as far as I need help with this. And you guys aren't really helping much, you know. I only appreciate you being there. I appreciate you thumbing up my old videos and that. And I like watching your videos. Even Snowy's videos occasionally. I might even watch that video that you're talking about flying as high as you can, but it just seems predictable. It's just going to be you in a little machine. I get depressed, you know. I'm just going to keep this going because I know no one wants to hear this, but I kind of get a bit depressed, you know, when it's like people are predictable. I mean, what questions should I? Am I asking? I'm not asking the right questions, right? Carlos Castaneda, right, in his books, he the way he portrays Don Juan talks about this thing called the tonal, and the Nahual, these I associate them with the left and right brains, but the tonal is it's the way that people make sense of the world, you know, and therefore it's like it's got this power. It's a power of organizing the world into a pattern that everybody more or less agrees on. The majority of people agree on, you know, and so it's quite basic. It's quite straightforward, but it's got a few intricacies, and it changes as the times go on, you know. So if somebody appeared from 100 years ago now, they wouldn't have a clue what's going on because they would have the tonal from 100 years ago. The tonal from 100 years ago. Where as Don Juan puts it in the books, the tonal is like a table, you know. It's like a table with things on the table, like a table. I've got a table here with books and a few supplements and glasses and
bits and bobs and cigarette ends and stuff and glasses and cigarette papers, letters, a few electric equipment stuff.
You know, there's all stuff on the table. The Nawal is everything outside of the table. It's like your consciousness, your life, the person you are, is like a table. It's like an island, you know, and it's got its own way of accepting reality, its own way of perceiving reality. Now, everyone else has got their own specific table. They're going to have different items on their table, but there's a pattern where the way that the table is set up. You know, 100 years ago, there would have been things on the table that most people would have had on the table that now nobody has on the table. You know, maybe mushroom ketchup or something, you know. It was very common 100 years ago, but now nobody ever uses it. It's disappeared. Coca-Cola with cocaine in it. Now nobody has, you know, it doesn't exist anymore, so we don't have it, you know. People smoking Havana cigars, you know, at the table. Nobody smokes at the table anymore. There's not even any cigarettes, you know. So it's all that's changed. Everything's changed, you know. The tonal is constantly changing. You've got a universal sort of tonal, but you've also got your individual tonal, and it's kind of like the conformity, the force towards conformity. You know, it's like Agent Smith is like the personification of it in the Matrix movies. You know, it's this expectation that everybody has that you conform to some kind of norm, and if you don't conform, people will either give you a hard time. They may even lock you up in some sort of institution, you know, if you don't conform to their ways and laws and stuff, you know. Now, there's good sides to this, and there's bad sides. You know, it basically is funneling you into a sort of like in an area. You know, Don Juan calls this the assemblage point, and he talks about an area. Now, there's two areas. I'm not 100% sure which area he's exactly sure about. I think there's one area on the right side of your. It's like a little bit below your navel and about 18 inches in front of you, but to the right a little bit. And you've got your assemblage point. But he also talks about an assemblage point behind your right shoulder, a similar sort of like distance away from you, or, you know, somewhere behind your right shoulder and out a little bit as well, you know. It's not very. There's several reasons why people don't take these books that seriously, and it seems like there's a lot of like holes in his theory. There's sort of like contradictions and stuff, and things that just don't add up. And because of the way it's very mystical, I think some people are inclined to not pay attention to that. I would take it with a pinch of salt myself. I would say, you know, it's probably not, didn't really happen, or most of it didn't happen. Or he's like exaggerated it. Maybe it might be based on some stuff, based on some certain sort of teachings. But inevitably, you know, it's kind of like he makes it clear in the books. He's not very together. You know, the actual the words that he writes in the books can't really be expected to be very reliable. He's continually telling you that he's not sure of what's going on, and he's having these like distortions of perception and reality. You know, it's happening all the fucking time, all the way through the books. So obviously you have to take him with a pinch of salt. But he does also cover some really interesting speculatory like ideas and philosophies, whatever, about the nature of reality, which I would say are probably worthwhile to look at and think about. And a lot of them are all jumbled up in a relatively short work that is quite enjoyable to read, and you can read relatively quickly. Yeah, so I found them an enjoyable read. You can go through. I tend to go through them quickly, and it makes me think about things differently. It makes me think about the world differently. And hello, viewer. Thanks for the thumb up. There's an interesting video with Terence McKenna, the guy that he does all the stuff on magic mushrooms and talks about magic mushrooms. There's a little short video. If you put in Terence McKenna and Carlos Castaneda, you'll find the video. It'll probably be the only video. It just comes straight up. It's about a 4 or 5 minute video, and Terence McKenna is talking about. Someone asked him a question and about Carlos Castaneda's books, and he talks about it, and I think he gives quite a good account of it, And Terence McKenna's a fairly cool guy, he's a CIA agent, but he admits that, sometimes everyone makes mistakes, Oh dear. Yeah. What am I doing with this video? Yeah. See, it's like it's not the same, is it? You get a few traitor, you get a traitor, everything goes all pear shaped, It's like it's a predatory world. It is, I feel like a pirate. Pirates have their bad days, and I just wish I could remember the name of this video. Maybe I could check it out on another. I've done this before. I've probably covered everything I need to cover in this video. I just can't remember covering it. That's the thing about being a genius. It's like you're living in a sort of virtual dimension with multiple dimensions going on in universes, and you can easily get lost. It's much more easy to get lost than if you was a stupid person. That's why I kind of need stupid people on my channel and to help me with like creating paradise on earth. We need stupid people. We got to get them on our side. Stupid people are the future, the more stupid, the better. They are the new gold. It's like a gold mine, and this is the thing. I'm keeping my channel small. I'm whispering so that no one hears, right? But actually, I've been cultivating stupid people here on my channel, and I know you a lot are really fucking stupid, and you are just the people who are going to help me take over the world, and I need you to tell me what to do, because I don't really know. But one thing I do know is that the only way we're going to do it is with the stupid people. And that's you guys. This ain't working, is it? I'm not you, no. Hang on. Ah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know anything much about helicopters, but I would like one. You know, if I could have it, I'd love to have a helicopter. I've always wanted to have a helicopter. I mean, just leave a comment if you'd always have liked to have had a helicopter. Who wouldn't like to have a helicopter? You know. Well, so anyway, about stupid people, you know, it's like, oh, hi, Shiny Beast. Yeah, about stupid people. We have to get them on our side. This is what I've realised. It's like there's no point trying to appeal to them intellectually. They are the future, you know. They are the backbone of the future, these stupid people, and we have to get them to realise that and like make connections with them and sort of help them to organise us, because they're the ones that really know what's going on. They're like the kind of, really, you got to think of, this is how I'm seeing it, right? I know it's a bit of a, it's something to get your mind around. It's difficult to get your mind around this, but just give it some time, you know, sleep on it, give it a few weeks, you know, to sort of mull over in your mind. The stupid people are the intelligent person's mitochondria, right? Okay. You see where I'm going with this? The stupid people are the intelligent person's mitochondria. So, you know, I mean, just think about it. Where else have you seen this pattern being like reproduced? So, you know, I mean, the problem with stupid people is most of you don't realise how stupid you are, right? Now, let me just try and make it clear to you. I want to be, I'm here to help you, right? If I can, you know, because I know it's a difficult thing, but if I can help you, I will do it in any way I can. If you're not sure whether you are a stupid person, then you're a stupid person, right? Okay? You are one of the chosen ones. You are, if you're not sure if you're stupid, you almost certainly are stupid. Now, we might have to take a few tests, maybe a blood test or something, but it will be perfect, it will be painless, and we will be able to find out, you know, it won't just be a blood test. It's not like that as well. We can probably get rid, if you don't like injections, we can actually, we will make an exception for those people that do not like blood tests. You don't have to have a blood test. You know, I will guarantee it. You can do other types of tests, like walking along a plank, telling which of 3 cards, you know, is the ace, you know, and which is the queen. Those kind of tests, you know, it will be straightforward. There will only be a few. It will only take a few days to do the tests. And we'll find out if you're one of the people, because most people are, one of the people who can most benefit from doing the work. You know, the more stupid you are, the more benefit you can gain. And we've already like basically I've nailed down now proof of concept in this kind of thing, where the more stupid people are, not necessarily completely stupid, but I'm talking about people that with relatively low IQs, lower than 100. These are the sort of people we need doing the work, and we need to attract into the heart of our business core that earns money to keep these kind of communities going. Because us intelligent people like me, we're no good on our own. We're basically pretty useless. We maybe can organize people and like help herd them like sheepdogs, but like we're like the sheepdogs. It's like we need shepherds and sheep, you know, and that's where the stupid people come in. Intelligent people, we're the sheepdogs. We're so much more intelligent than all you guys. You know, we can do this thing for a laugh. You know, we start moving you around and herding you around. It's just a game to us. You know, it's like we're not really taking it seriously. We need people like you to sort of keep us in line and tell us what to do, show us what to do. What do you need doing? Oh, you need these people herding around into a farm. Okay, let's do that. Into a tribe, you know. Okay, let's do that. Let's get you into a tribe. Okay, I can do that. Okay, let's just, you people have got to show up, and you've got to learn to stop thinking as stupid as a derogatory term. Think of it as a compliment. If you're stupid, that's now you've got good DNA. You've got like you know, potential. You know, intelligent people. Oh, you've got a high IQ. Oh, it's like a disability. You know, you got a high IQ of 139. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, here's a dollar. Go and buy yourself a coffee. You know, you've got an IQ of 45. Oh, why don't you take me out to dinner? Why don't you buy me lunch? I'll give you a back rub. You know. This is the world we live in now, you know. So us intelligent people, we need to make friends with these people. We need to organize them, look after them, and they will look after us, you know. Okay, I'm getting fed up with this. Nice to see you, Shiny Beast. Oh, Shiny Beast, can you give me any feedback about the written word? You know, I'm trying to get feedback. I haven't seen you for a while. If that's you watching, you know, I'm convinced the written word is a great evil. And if I ask people to give me a list of all the good points about the written word, people can give me a list. You know, if I ask them what about the bad points of the written word, what about the bad points of the written word? Can you give me a list of the bad points? Can anyone engage me in conversation about the written word? Can you make a video and talk about it? Give your own point of view. You know, give me I tell you what, right? YouTube has really changed compared to what it used to be, right? When I started out on YouTube, it was really common for people to do response videos. Somebody would make a video, right? And then underneath it, you'd get response videos. This person responded. Put this video as a response, you know, and sometimes you'd get loads of response videos. And you don't see that anymore. It's totally changed. Oh. Yeah. Mm. Okay. The written word is just power. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a okay. Without more to back it up, the thing is, like, it's a deep subject, so it needs more. You know, you need to do like a whole fucking blog of stuff, you know, for me to be able to get to sort of like understand it, which is annoying because then you're having to use the written word, and it's like. I do like the idea of making videos, you know, because you can show your facial expressions and your body language as well. You get more across, I think, in a video. But apparently people have difficulty making videos and they've got all hang-ups and stuff. And I did as well. You know, I've had to make sacrifices to make these videos. It's not always easy for me. It's like... I like keeping my channel small at the moment because so I can contain it. You know, I sort of feel up to dealing with it. If my channel got big and I had loads of subscribers, it could easily get overwhelming for me, I think. You know, so I'm not up to that at the moment. Maybe in a few years, if I get more together, I've got more energy, and some followers that can like what do you call it? Drones? Is that the word? Servants? Something like that. Servants. I need servants that can do the work for me, answering my emails and stuff like that. There's a proper word. I'm sure there's a politically correct word that I'm missing. I can't quite think of it at the moment. But something along the lines of servants or slaves, you know, that kind of thing. But to be paid a fair wage, you know. According to the law and stuff, you know, however many pounds it is per hour that they have to be paid. I would definitely pay them at least that amount, maybe a little bit more, you know, just to make sure that I'm on the right side of judgment and fairness and stuff, you know. Sometimes I feel like, you know, I'm being sort of dragged along with all the sort of politically correctness. What I was saying at the beginning of this video, I don't know, you didn't watch the beginning of the video. I'll try and update you, shiny beast. Right, yeah. So you're keeping up with the times. I mentioned Carlos Castaneda's Don Juan books. He talks about the tonal. Everybody has got like a perception of reality that conforms to the times. So somebody from the 60s who came forward wouldn't understand about mobile phones or computers, you know. So they wouldn't understand what's going on. They'd be like totally freaked out. But everyone now, we all understand these things, you know. We've all got used to it. And just like if you went into the future, there's probably going to be loads of things in the future that you wouldn't be able to comprehend and would freak you out. If you went 50 years into the future, you would just be freaked out, just like someone from the 60s who comes into our future would be freaked out. We've got this tonal and it's connected with the left brain, and how it sort of like reduces what it is. It's the reductionary sort of yin principle. It reduces everything down into like a little like spotlight, you know, like the yin symbol is the black swirly pattern with the white center, the white dot at the center. That white dot is like the spotlight, the torchlight shining in the darkness. You know, that's a good way of looking at that, to understand it and how the left brain works. And whereas the right brain is like the looking inwards that enables you to see the bigger picture, which is the like turning the light on and seeing the light everywhere, you know. Whereas you're not really looking, so you've got that. That's where that yin and yang is. Like it's like your black eye on your right side with your left brain, and it gets confusing to understand. I'm aiming this video at stupid people. I don't want to make it too complicated. I mean, the thing is about intelligent people. When you've got a high IQ, what happens is that you're intelligent in one direction, but you lose out in loads of other directions. There's like about 8 different types of intelligence, and IQ is only one. So it's like we've got one really strong arm, but our legs are like jelly all the time. And you people, you've got really strong legs. You might not have a really big long arm, but you've got really strong legs, and you can carry stuff, and maybe you can talk to animals. And I'm frightened of mice. Mice freak me out, whereas you're not scared of any animals. But maybe someone with a high IQ can. It's like IQ works on different ways. You got IQ, you got emotional intelligence. I'm crap with emotional intelligence, but the thing is, I've been trying to learn it. I'm still learning it here now. This is one of the reasons I'm making videos. I'm making a fool of myself. I'm getting rid of viewers that don't know how to help me. I mean, the problem is, when I started out here, I've got loads of health problems. I'm pretty stupid. I'm interested in some interesting stuff though, and I want to do some work developing, doing some self-improvement. I'd like to get feedback and stuff, but when you're in difficulties, you attract the similar sort of people, right? I mean, birds of a feather flock together. And then when I'm trying to get out the bucket, which is the whole point of it, I'm like a crab trying to get out of the bucket. Other people tend to drag me back in. It's a really hard thing doing the work online, like live, and like doing like blogs about it. It's like it's almost impossible. I have to take these things into consideration. I can't really have friends here. I've got watchers, people that are like showing interest in my work. That's great, fine. But as for friends, we used to have this thing called friends on YouTube. There was like you had friends, and then you had like subscribers. I used to be able to navigate right through YouTube, like going from different friends and subscribers. You had blocks where it showed different like the pictures, the glyphs of all the different subscribers and friends that people had, and you could just click on them, and it would take you straight to their channel. And it was really easy and ever so quick and straightforward. You could go and check out people's channels and see. You'd get an idea looking at their channel what sort of person they were. It was ever so user friendly and creator friendly, and it's totally changed. Now it's just become much more conformist. Everybody's expected to conform and behave the same and have the same looking kind of channels and go through all these laborious processes to sort of click on different menus, and it's so tiresome. It's so left-brained. And totally different to how it was when I started out. It's now, when I started with YouTube, I really enjoyed it. I got into it. When I started doing the work, I was right into it. It was like it all worked nicely, and then they just kept starting. They made all these changes. It started with moving to getting a G+ taking over. Oh, what a nightmare! And it just got worse. It just got really like a real drag. And now it's like going on YouTube for me. It's like you're carrying a load of like a ball and chain with you all the time. It's like it's horrible. I'm sick of it. They've ruined it, and it's just like it's not worth it. I probably will still make videos, but I'm not going to put a lot of effort into them unless I can get help with these things, because it's like I haven't got the energy for it. I'm too intelligent. I haven't got the right kind of sort of intuition, to deal with how things are changing. I don't understand it. I've got the wrong kind of mentality for it. and I don't know how to keep up. And I expect that's the same for a lot of people. You know, I imagine these things are all designed to appeal to the youngest sort of people. The youngest people are being fed all the ideas that keeps them several steps ahead of most everyone else. And so it's like something that you just can't relax with it. You're constantly being like shed. You're like on the edge of a skin that's like a snake skin that's constantly being shed, and you're on the outside, you know. And everybody's working to try and get on the inside. It's like a survival of the fittest thing. It's not. It's all like a predatory universe. There is no like. It's not straightforward. I'm just getting tired of it. I think it's stupid. It's like it can't last if it carries on like this. It's just an excuse to basically rob people of money and use up their time. You know, I've been looking in how to get the most out of life. That's what these videos are about. If I don't get feedback from people that are interested in like following these ideas and investing in them, then I don't really see much point in making any more videos. I'll just be wasting my time. I've already got to the point now where I can rest. I feel like I can rest for at least 6 months, maybe 5 years, and just keep working on all the stuff I've already learned doing the work, and which I've already talked about in my videos up until now. So I might just take a break. Who is it? Someone, I think Tim Ferriss was talking about going offline. Just counselling is a computer and phone calls, and just getting a pay-as-you-go phone, going offline. And if you needs to use the computer, just go to the library and use the library computer, you know, and you save yourself £35 a month, you know, or like $40 or $50 a month, whatever. You know, sell your computer for 10 quid or give it away to a charity shop, you know, do a good deed and just make your life more simple. You know, there's a temptation that you want to like stay in touch with all this sort of movement of technology. But I've just done at least 5 years of like 5, maybe 6 or 7 years of research. And I found out so much stuff that, you know, I don't need to use the computer. I don't see any point in making videos. There's loads of people making videos already. I'm only repeating what other people have already said, just in a slightly different range of ingredients, maybe. So I've got nothing new to add. It makes sense for me to just sort of stop making videos. Maybe when I've got something new to offer, maybe make them then. Yeah, that's when I started doing the work. 2014. Yeah, started going downhill. I think that's when Google took over. I think, yeah. Ew, it's just horrible thinking about it. It's just like it's really horrible what they've done. You know, the way they've just streamlined it and made it so much more left brain, and it's kind of really depressing. It was like a nice place. The atmosphere was so different. It was much more like a real place. Now it seems like an app. Whereas before it was so organic, it had an organic feel about it, you know, and it was easy to understand. It was easy to navigate. You didn't need much technology. It was like a wonderful place, you know, and it was like a kind of virtual reality, but you know, you're only half there. It's like you're having half a foot in a virtual reality, and you can meet people. There's all these different people. You can listen to videos. It's an arcade. It's all this entertainment, you know, at your fingertips, in all different kinds of ways. People were having conversations. People don't have conversations. I was having loads of conversations and taking part in conversations on people's channels in their comment section. It just doesn't happen now. It all just sort of like seized up. Google took over. They started changing everything around, and it totally seized up. I tell you what, right? You could somebody should just make an exact copy of how YouTube was 5 or 6 years ago, and just keep it like that, and just make a commitment to keep it like that. You know, as an alternative to YouTube, with all these changes. You know, and it's like it's just a predatory universe. You know, you always get people taking over with money. You know, who've got it. They're always trying to get more power. So anything that's doing well, they put pressure on people and take it over so they can control it. It's like it's how power works. It's really boring. It's really fucking tedious. But it's like we're all too slow. The whole point of keeping hold of power is that they're quick and they're on it. As soon as something starts growing, they jump on it and bite it down to size and like control it. You know, that's how they work. That's how they stay on top of everything. You know, and that's why they have a school system that dumbs everyone down and a media system that keeps everyone in the dark. You know, to keep us all stupid. And so even if our language is fucked up. So that's why it's one of the reasons it's so hard for me to make videos, talk about this stuff, because our language is literally gobbledygook. It's deliberately been made into like something that doesn't work properly. It's hobbled, like a horse that's got its legs tied together too short, really closely tied together, so it can only take little tiny steps. So it just gets boring. If I try and talk about it in using English, it gets boring and tedious. Nobody can pay attention. It takes too long. You know, I know this. There's nothing. What can I do? You know, there's basically nothing I can do about it. You know, we live in a fucking stupid world. If we try and tell people that we've all been dumbed down, our language has been dumbed down, nobody's interested. They just don't want to do anything about it. They're too stupid. They've been dumbed down, so they're stupid, and so they don't know what to do about it. It's like we're in a nightmare and a downward spiral. We're creating a man-made mass extinction event. We're overpopulating the planet. We're polluting it and poisoning it. I'm talking about making a solution. You know, set up a community that is like an antidote to all these things. You know, try to concentrate away from technology. Use all the benefits that we've learned, all the knowledge that we've got. Keep funneling that in. But make people have like a life that's in harmony with nature. You know, eating good quality pasture raised food, organic food. You know, living in harmony with nature and developing our potential. Oh, this fucking gets tedious. I just feel like I'm repeating myself. All right, let's see what you've written. I think being a selfish hermit who's offline can be super beneficial for one's evolution. Yeah, sure. Yes, okay, G plus, blah, blah. One of the worst things is all the commercialized mega channels overshadowing everything else. Yeah, I mean, like YouTube, it used to be something where you could navigate and you met people. I mean, technically, you can still do it, but it's like you're having to do 3 times as many clicks, make 3 times as many choices. So it's 3 times as much more exhausting than it used to be. It used to be so much easier that now, when you have to change, when you're going into the future, and all this technology is supposed to be evolving and getting better, and then you find that as the years go by, you're having to put 3 times as much effort you know, into doing the same thing that you was doing 3 or 4 years ago, and you're getting older as well. It's like it seems totally deliberately fucking evil. They're trying to make people in their 40s and stuff like me feel like they're getting older quicker. You know, it's calculated. There's absolutely no fucking reason that they need to do this, but they're doing it deliberately because young people don't really notice it, having to make a few extra choices, and they're still growing up, right? So they don't really notice it. They don't notice the extra amount of energy having to make 3 choices costs someone, right? And when you're having to do it on several occasions throughout the day, like maybe like 10 or 15, where you would normally, you can't keep up. You literally, there's no way of keeping up with the things that you used to do 5 years ago. And it's not that you've got a lot older, it's because YouTube has made it so much more stressful and difficult to navigate the website. You know, they've made it fucking much more stressful, like having to wade through syrup or glue or something, whereas before it was just clear water or it was easy. You know, now they've made it like really stressful. And they absolutely fucking, somebody definitely knows what they're doing, and it's definitely deliberate. There's absolutely no way this can possibly be accidental, and yet I'm absolutely certain that there are people that will say this is to make it better for a wider range of people. You know, it's done for all kinds of reasons. They will have all kinds of rationalizations to explain why these things have been changed. The thing is, I absolutely refuse to believe it. If it was perfectly okay before, why there was a need to change it all? And why am I so pissed off? And why are so many other people pissed off with it? You know, I just don't believe it. It's deliberately been done to make it not work, and so that people can't communicate effectively anymore. And to basically demoralize people. It's an ongoing tactic that's used in all kinds of ways, all throughout society, all throughout all culture, that they constantly create ways to demoralize people. If anything works, right, and makes people's lives better, and they're happier, and especially if they're happier, then the powers that be will try to take over it and capitalize on it and try to restrict it and make it so that people have to work much harder to get that product, and they essentially basically destroy it. I mean, this happens in some ways when you get a holiday resort where everybody wants to go to that holiday resort, right? Because it's the most peaceful, tranquil, beautiful, unspoiled holiday resort in the whole world, right? And then 500,000 people go there, and then a couple of years later, it's all covered in plastic. There's all these cheap hotels everywhere. Or there's loads of like scam artists trying to con your money out of you, you know, and just like it turns it into an absolute nightmare. These things just happen, you know. I suppose life's like that, you know. A tree fruits, and it comes to fruit, and it starts releasing fruit. And as it gets bigger, the next year, more fruit come. People start getting a load of benefit. They keep returning to this tree. And then the tree gets bigger, more fruit come, but then other people hear about it, and then loads of people come to this tree, and then there's not enough fruit, even though the tree is still getting bigger. There's so many more people trying to get the fruit, there's suddenly not enough fruit, where for years there might have been more fruit than everyone needed, and everybody had loads of fruit, more fruit than you could want. And it was like a big glut, like a massive party for everyone. All of a sudden it can change overnight, and all of a sudden it's like hardly anyone's got enough. Nobody's got enough fruit. You know, only a few sort of superheroes, you know, with their massive channels. They're the only people getting enough fruit. Everyone else is starving. You know, that's what it feels like. You know, we're all starving. Whereas before, You know, 5 years ago, most people, even with small channels, with like channels half the size of mine, I had a much more better time when I had like 5 or 10 subscribers on my channel. Now I've got like 150, and I've had 150 basically for about 4 or 5 years. It hasn't changed. It just all ground to a halt. As soon as G Plus took over, it's like everything just changed, and it's like my channel just become frozen. You know, people stop communicating. It'll just become dead. It's like they zombified everyone. It's really how it went. You know, it's like they took over, and the whole place became like a dead place. It's like a zombie world, and it's just like that now. It's hardly. It's all fake. They fucked it up. And I've not heard of anything that's like a decent alternative. It's just like they've deliberately killed it all. This is how nature works, you know. Unfortunately, it's like, you know, if you get onto a good thing, people hear about it, and then everyone comes and they just ruin it. They all jump on the bandwagon, and the bandwagon, like the axle breaks, and it all just falls over, and everyone just has to walk. You know, it was like a nice clean ride downhill. Everyone was going along, you know, moving a lot more quicker than usual. They were making progress, and loads of people jumped on, and then the whole thing crashed, and then everyone has to walk. So what's the lesson from this? Well, I suppose the lesson is like, don't tell anyone. If you found something good, keep it to yourself. It's kind of depressing, isn't it? But it's like, this is the thing. People are fucking stupid. They don't have much foresight. It's like, keep your mouth shut, isn't it? Yeah. That's another good reason for me to not make videos, you know. It's like, one of the things about making these videos that I've discovered is that they don't work. You know, just telling people what needs to happen, it's like their brains don't work anyway, so they can't understand what I'm saying. We need to make new like tribes to protect against like the future apocalypse and stuff like that. We need to all make like tribes that have got all the best technology and understanding and knowledge, and can create like a self-sustaining holistic environment, you know, that will last for thousands of years or indefinitely, because it's got everything it needs to survive, all the minerals all in place. You can do that. We can do that. So why aren't we doing it? You know, it doesn't make sense. If scientists are saying we're heading towards we're already in a man-made mass extinction event, then the obvious thing to do is to make precautions and try to protect ourselves from this man-made mass extinction event when it comes to its full force. You know, because it's pretty, to me, it seems pretty straightforward. You know, ah, dear. But then again, you know, I think the written word is a great evil, and that to me seems like straightforward as well. I don't know why people don't jump on, understand that, or like get to, you know, grips with that either. And see, for you stupid people, wouldn't you know? If just imagine if you had a world where you didn't need the written word, right? We got rid of the written word. You haven't got to go to school. You can just go and learn about chickens or something, you know, or lawnmowers. Wouldn't that be much better? You know, all you've got to learn about is, you know, chickens and lawnmowers, and you don't have to learn the written word and about history and stuff. Some people, if that's what they're designed to do, then they're going to be a real benefit to doing the work and setting up a community. That's the sort of people we need. We need people that can just fix lawnmowers or mow the lawn and look after the chickens, collect the eggs in the morning, you know, maybe feed them a bit of seeds, you know, if they need their diets like perked up in the winter or something. Yeah. Okay, what we got here? Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been talking about in the last few videos, Shiny Beast, about like, yeah, we need to take over our food production, or our whole, everything. These mega corporations are basically herding people around like sheep, but they've given us the sort of like illusion that we do have some control, right? And there's laws in place to ensure that we are not completely slaves. So if we're not slaves, we should be able to set up communities where we can raise our own animals, grow our own food, etc., without them interfering. One of these things about all these nation states with their laws, they basically own all the countries as far as they're concerned. So if you want to grow like hemp, if you want to grow cannabis, setting up these communities is still going to be a bit tricky, you know, because they're going to put, if you want to do it like, the obvious thing to do, as far as I'm concerned, right, looking at it like in a really straightforward, down to earth way, you're going to grow a big proportion of your fields, like at least 10% of your area, growing hemp for rope and like cloth and for seeds, for seed oil, seeds to feed your animals and like through the winter hot and stuff, and also for cannabis, for, you know, for medicine, to cure cancer and stuff. We've got all these pollutants that are going to be here for hundreds of years. It doesn't matter how we change our ways. There's going to be loads of nasty chemicals in our environment that we've created. They're going to be there for hundreds of years. So things like cannabis tincture and is going to be, you know, a way of like protecting ourselves and having proper food, you know, like pasture raised cows, sheep, goats, chickens, ducks, turkeys, and pigs, and fish, you know, like carp and trout. You know, I think, you know, from where I live, you know, they're the sort of fish you could easily incorporate into a farm system where you're making sure you've got all your different all your food types available to you in a small area. Ideally, you want it quite close to the sea so you can collect seaweed, maybe do a bit of fishing and collect like fish from the sea, maybe sardines or whatever, cod. Okay, let me just read some of these comments then. Yeah, that's it. That's another problem. Getting people to realise that they are actually like cattle, because they're in tunnel vision. They're in the left brain. When you try to explain this, right, it's basically you're explaining it to an animal. Because they're in their left brain, they're thinking and behaving like an animal. And if you tell them that, and they've got this idea that they're a human and being called an animal is like an insult, then the first thing they're going to do is get angry at you. You know, so when you however careful you are, this is what I've found. It doesn't really matter how careful you are, try to explain things to people. The majority of people just don't like it. They don't want to hear the truth. They just get angry. They blame you. They shoot the messenger. You know, it's a tough sell. Doing the work is a fucking tough sell. You know, I don't know if my heart's really in it. I kind of do it as a hobby. I'm a total hypocrite, you know. yeah, round up some women. I'm working on it, HRC, mate. Yeah, so do I. Definitely, like, I think I want 2 Japanese women though, if I can. If there's one spare, I'd like 2. The mass breeding event, you know, that we're already in a mass breeding event. You know, I'm sure scientists will confirm that any day now. We're already in a mass breeding event. I mean, I've got an intuition about it. You know, I feel like I can see things that other people aren't really aware of. You know, it's like when I think about certain like statistics, like for example, like there's between 8 and 9 billion people on the planet at the moment. It's like my intuition just sort of like pushes me in this direction, that I just get to this conclusion that there are too many people on the planet. It's like an intuitional thing, you know. But anyway, I totally agree with what you're saying there, HRC and Shiny Beast. Yeah, but you could be Scandinavian and black. The future looks, oh, well, somebody's been making, it's you, HRC, isn't it? You're always doing it, aren't you? I've got to come and rescue your comment. You've made a dodgy comment. It's saying show or hide. I'm going to put show. I'm not even going to read it. I know it's bound to be a dodgy comment, but I'm just going to put show anyway. What are you guys talking? What are these guys talking about? See, really, I need to like go back and remember what I was saying while she was. See, as soon as you've got 2 people chatting, it's like a 3-way thing. It's like 2's company, 3's a crowd. It's just like overcrowded. I've got 2 people watching. They're making all kinds of stupid comments, and they've totally ruined my video. Why have you ruined? Why have you come and ruined my video, you guys? What's the matter with you? I mean, so let's want to see if they can tell if I'm joking or not. I'm not going to make an effort to try and hang on to these guys. You know, they're a bit flaky, as far as I can tell. I mean, I'm a bit flaky as well, I suppose, but yeah, they seem okay, these guys. I don't know if I'd want to share a tent with them. The way they're talking. They've got some ideas there. Oh, I'll tell you what, I've got an interesting book I've been reading. I mean, you would like this, you guys probably like. This is like the Chosen, the Stone Dance of the Chameleon series, Trinity or Trilogy, Ricardo Pinto. These guys, right? They're like white people, and they're like giants. They're sort of like 9 feet tall, 10 feet tall, and they like rule the world, you know. And they, let me show you the map. It's really it's far out, you know. The names of the people, they're like, a lot of the names are like names of or similar to names of gemstones. Like you've got Jasper, Carnelian, Malachite. And it's really interesting. I'm going to go on to some of this stuff here. Look, like you see Eden there. There's a lot of interesting stuff. You've got giants. These people wear these golden masks. You know, he's like wearing a golden mask, this giant guy. They've got all these like rules that you can't see. No one's allowed to see their face. No normal people are allowed to see their face. Otherwise, they get killed or blinded and stuff. It's a really interesting read. It starts off in terms of like these people are in exile in this sort of really cold place in the north somewhere, you know, where it's really cold and frozen. And then this ship comes and visit in the middle of the winter because the emperor is dying, and they have to go. And this guy he needs to go and oversee the election of the new sort of emperor and stuff. And he has to bring his son, and it's just like they bring some servants and they have to leave the load behind, and it's all traumatizing, and it's all really like it's kind of like based on you could think of it like Atlantis, you know. There's a ringed city like inside this big circle, like a burnt out volcano. Or there's even 2 of them actually. Okay, it's kind of a bit like Lord of the Rings, but more grown up. But it doesn't really lead anywhere. A bit like Lord of the Rings doesn't really lead anywhere. It just like, one of the things about it, it seems kind of a bit incomplete. It didn't finish very well, but the beginning is so fantastic that it makes up for it. And I'm reading it for at least the third time. It might be the 4th time. It's just so powerful, and it's like a stream of consciousness as well. The descriptions of what's going on and the way things happen, it really gets you. You're brought in right at the beginning. It's like there's all these storms. The main character is like the son of the chief of this exiled community, and he has to wear all these special clothing and this gold mask when he's around these other masters. They're called the Masters or the Chosen, and they've got their own separate language, and they're white skinned and they're very tall. You know, what's one of the things that's interesting, it just reminded me what you said, Shiny Beast, was that you're an authentic Scandinavian. It's like Scandinavians have been known for being tall, especially when they've looked back in like older times. If you go back 1,000 years and stuff, a lot of when they've opened these graves, a lot of these like Northern European people have been very tall. They've been over 6'6", you know, over 2 meters tall, you know, like nearly 7 foot and stuff, you know. They're just the ones we've heard of. They've probably found ones that are like even taller, you know, 9 or 10 feet tall, you know, 3 meters. but we don't hear about them. They seem to not talk about them. No, 90% of what they find in archaeology, they don't even talk about. No one ever hears about because it doesn't fit with their all their theories. But a lot of the ones that they have found have been like nearly 7 foot tall, that they have talked about. So anyway, yeah, those books there, it seems like the guy's quite well researched. He's got a very good imagination about this stuff. And well, I'm reading them for the 3rd time. I can't help recommending them. I've recommended them before. I'll show you again. It's The Stone Dance of the Chameleon series. The first book's called The Chosen, Ricardo Pinto. You can probably get it on eBay for like £2 or £3. Even if you just get the first book, just get the first. If you're not sure about it, don't get all 3 books. Just get the first book. And the second and the third book are they slightly. If the first book say 8 out of 10, then the second book is like 7 out of 10, and the third book is 6 out of 10. I'm not going to lie to you, but I never give anyone 9 out of 10. So then 8 out of 10 is really good as far as I'm concerned. It's like someone else's 11 out of 10, So there are sentences in there. I'm very kind of critical reading it the 3rd time round. There are a few sentences in there that are a bit ambiguous in terms of their meaning. So you can, if you're if you're a bit autistic, you might think, that doesn't quite sound right. Well, how do I understand what that means? But the way I look at it, I try to sort of go past them and think of it like a sort of stream of consciousness, kind of like way of looking at it, way of reading it. And so these you could look at this like almost like neo-Nazis have written this because of the way that they see the white people. They wear paint on their skin. They paint their skin to protect it from the sun so that they stay white. They use all these different ways of protecting themselves, but they're really tall, much taller than anyone else. They've got this special blood, and they have all these strange rituals, and they're much stronger and more intelligent and more powerful in their like way of controlling people. Everybody's shit scared of them, It's really interesting, though. It's like it's only someone's imagination, but it's obviously a lot of it's come from like history and stuff that they've researched. It's very difficult to sort of like come up with a book that is about actual real evidence and stuff, because the mainstream society tries to prevent that kind of thing. And they can cause you all kinds of shit if you try to reveal that what they're telling you is a bunch of fiction. They don't really like it, especially if you've got like solid evidence to back it up, that makes them look really stupid and like they're really lying to you through their teeth, which is what they're doing. But when you show evidence that really shows it in a scientific way, like a peer represented way, they absolutely hate it, and they will probably try and kill you. So what people do instead is that they make fictional books, and put the same ideas across, but in fiction. And that's what I've discovered. That's what I believe is happening. This is why I spend quite a lot of time reading fictional books. And those books are some of the really good ones. I like Philip Pullman's books, his Dark Materials. To me, that's a good symbolic and representation of our school system, how it sucks the soul out of you. They made that into films with the Golden Compass, and apparently they're doing it on the BBC at the moment, in a new series, which I haven't seen. But the film that they done, they had Mrs. Coulter having like blonde hair, but in the book she's got dark hair. You know, and so when I saw the film and I saw that she had blonde hair, I just thought that is just stupid. That was just so fucking stupid. Why have they done that? They totally ruined it. She's supposed to have dark hair, you know. It just like those sort of things. The way Hollywood fucks everything up, you know. They really like to fucking fuck around with stupid things, you know. And I hate it. What are you big guys talking about without me? No. You can't do that. I don't want all the Asian chicks. I want loads of white chicks with dark hair. Really dark hair. But really white skin. And a few redheads. And a couple of blondes as well. All the 62 Aryan women. Oh dear. Oh, see, I was talking. I didn't catch this. I just have to catch up with you guys. You had a little bit of a blast here, didn't you? Oh dear. Oh, okay. What have you got on here? You got made a dud. No, how many dodgy? Oh, look. No. Oh yeah. Okay, it's back again. Right. Okay. Yeah, man. This is what I'm talking about. You see. Also, we've got to start a new generation. This is going to be. It's not just going to be like paradise. It's going to be like Eden. You know, we're going to need lots of Adams. There ain't just going to be one. We're going to need 20 or 30. You know, and so you want to sign up straight away. You want to get in early. You know, and you're going to have 2, maybe 3 Eves, probably. I can think of probably at least 3. But you know, to start with, there might be a bit of swapping going on, a bit of wife swapping, probably quite regularly. You know, so you'll get like any sort of selection that you want, really, at least for the first few years. While we've got all the, there'll be like you know, a bit of disease control. Make sure everyone's like clean to start with, you know, and then it's going to basically be like a free for all, you know, because if there's no diseases, and that's one of the reasons we want to keep it like you know, have like protection around it. So it's like, you know, you've got like a containment. You've got maybe 300 people or 3,000 people, you know, a nice selection, maybe 1,000 men, 2,000 women to start with, or 100 men, 200 women, you know, a nice mixture. And no diseases. You know, everybody's been thoroughly like checked, you know, no diseases. And you can just let yourself go then. You don't have to worry about diseases and that. I mean, to me, at least for a few years, you know, just for a bit of fun, and let people get things out of their system, and then we'll work out some sort of like way of doing things where we can be a bit more moralistic, you know, let people let their moralistic stuff come out a bit, you know, because you know people are always going to do that, aren't they? Oh, I don't want her banging my auntie every fucking every other day, you know, it's just doing my head in, you know, all that banging noise and screaming and that. I just can't handle it, you know. And you know what kids are like, you know. So there'll obviously have to be some adjustment. People, you know, will take time to find the ways of living that suits them best. There's other things. There are other things like how how do we set it up so that it stays set up properly? It stays fixed in a kind of good way, because people like to destroy stuff. They like to break stuff and ruin it. You know. Okay, let's see what comments you got. You know, I was making a video about this the other day at HRC. I'll make more videos about this because, you know, it's what I'm interested in, and it's good to be. If what you're interested in is like what you think about, and it's going to be good. Like, for example, making you growing younger. It's a science. You know, if you do the right things, you can. Pretty much anyone can grow younger. You can take years, decades off your biological age. You know, a lot of people have got the potential to regress, like take 20 or 30 years off their life and be physically and emotionally and mentally like they were in their 20s. You know, so most people could do that. It's just a matter of applying the knowledge and the determination and sticking with it. It's pretty straightforward. So this is one of the things that will happen. We can't really take people into this sort of system who aren't prepared to do whatever it takes to stay like in the zone. I don't expect anyone to take me seriously until I've got rid of most of my grey hair. I've got to start looking young again, lose all my fat, you know, stop smoking. No one's going to take me seriously until I've done those things. So I've got to fix all that stuff first. And yeah, and I suppose you have to do that. You know, the sooner you do it, the better, I suppose. But you know, it's like I haven't done it yet, so. But yeah, watch this space. This is where we ought to be heading, I reckon. That's it. That's another good. That's the other. I'm glad you guys come on today. It's like you've come up with a good selling point. It's going to be like, you know, like. I mean, in the UK, we had this sort of thing. I don't know if it was like what it was like when you was when you was growing up, but we had this like a holiday resort. It's called 18 to 30. It was 1830, so it's like mainly it was aimed at people from 18 years old to 30 years old, and they'd send you to these holiday resorts, and everyone would just fuck everyone. You know, it'd be like an orgy. You know, and then for 2 weeks, and they'd come back, and it was really popular throughout the 80s and the early 90s. Probably, I haven't heard about it lately, but it used to be really popular, and so this could be like a kind of like more modern version where people are screened for diseases when they come in. So you know, the first week. You don't have any sexual contact with people. They make sure that you are clean, and then you get like say a wristband or a stamp. You know, like when you used to go into those nightclubs and you get a stamp. You get a stamp to say that you're sexually clean, and you can go and fuck anyone. And then at the same time, the first week you've been made to feel 10 years younger. You know, and start maybe giving you like. Adaptogenic, what are they called? Aphrodisiacs and stuff. So, you know, you feel like fucking everyone, and you feel 10 or 20 years younger. And And you know you're not going to catch any diseases because you've got the special stamp, you know. Ah, dear. I know a lot of people will think that was a terrible. You don't have to fuck everyone, you know, but you can. Maybe there's like a little camp for people that like to fuck everyone, and they can just go and live on the little camp. Like that. That would be great. I would like. Just imagine, right? You one day you just think, I really wish I could have sex with someone, and there's like a little camp down the side, you know, a little road you can like. It's got like a love heart, you know, or upside down love heart maybe, you know. Like there's a sign, then you go down this road, and then everyone down there is dying to have sex with someone. So you just go down there, and if you want to live there for a few days or for months or whatever, you just like everyone that comes down there, they want to have sex, you know. So, and maybe if you don't like men, you know, you're a man, you don't want to have sex with men, then you could like have a pink heart with a line through it, so that you don't want to have sex with men, you know. Or if you're a woman, then you have like a blue heart with a line for it. You don't know how to have sex with women. You know, just as a sort of, you know, so people know, so you don't, to save embarrassment, you know. God, this wine is nice. I just got a nice bottle of wine. It tastes like strawberries. I mean, it doesn't taste like strawberries, but it's got like a background flavour of strawberries. Makes me wish I had a nice bit of cheese. But I've been cutting down on my dairy. I've not had dairy lately. Sort of just having a break from it. Oh, this video's going on for long. Oh, well, if you guys are talking, I don't want to like stop you like in your nice little chat that you're having. How are you going? What's going on here? Oh, 63 shiny beast. You know what? I was talking about that tune, Tropical Hot Dog Nights, the Captain Beefheart tune. I kind of mentioned it in a video a few days ago, because I think that video, album has got a different name in the UK. I think it might be called something like Trout Mask Replica or something like that. And it's called Shiny Beast in other countries. It's a weird thing, like. This message is held for review. Oh, we have a lot of them here. Why is that held for review? Oh, someone's moved stuff around. What? Yeah. Oh, I'm not even going to watch these comments anymore. It keeps changing. My channel keeps flashing. I don't know what you guys are doing. You're messing around with my channel. Ah, dear. So anyway, about the other stuff that I was talking about earlier. If you want to do the work, I do recommend it, and to encourage you and to try and get you to do, you know, realize what a great idea it is and how much you could benefit from doing the work. I really, really recommend that you go and watch the Lawnmower Man director's cut, and you can find it on YouTube now. Just put in Lawnmower Man. It comes up there. It's 220 minutes, 2 hours. Sorry, 2 hours, 20 minutes. It's a nice long film, but it's really great. It's got good actors, and it will show you the sort of potential that is available even to the most stupid people out there. And this is what I want to do. I want to create a whole community of lawnmower men and women. Just think how amazing that would be. You know, you just go and watch the film Lawnmower Man director's cut and imagine what it would be like to have a whole village, 3,000 lawnmower men and women all having sex with each other, you know, and all communicating and all being sort of like improved mentally and spiritually and stuff, and becoming as advanced and evolved as like the Lawnmower Man. And imagine that's someone who's got like one of the lowest IQs you can find. That's how it's set up. So go and watch that film, think about it, get back to me, and think about how we can like set up a community where we've got like a whole load of lawnmower men and lawnmower women to sort of like protect the future, be like a protection and an insurance policy against the future, as well as the best possible retirement plan that you could have. I mean, you're 63, Shiny Beast. We could start this out. I mean, the usual age of retirement here in the UK is 65. So you're getting to that age. Imagine it like a community like set up as a farm and like a restaurant and a holiday home and also like a hotel for like people who want to fuck people and have a great time, eat the best quality food, do the best kind of exercises, but do a bit of work as well that's enjoyable, just looking after animals, not hard work, just sort of enjoyable work where you've got to keep your head together, you've got to move around a bit for quite a lot of hours. It's going to keep you healthy and active, but you don't have to do it every day. You can change what you're doing, there's always going to be other people to help out. You can have days off. You can, do all kinds of stuff. It's going to be like an adventure holiday that never ends. Instead of a retirement plan where it's boring, you're going to get younger. You're going to feel younger. You're going to be fucking beautiful young women all the time. Well, not all the time, but a lot of the time. You're going to get help developing your sexual prowess. If we're going to do this sort of thing, you might as well do it properly, So, and there's plenty of people out there that know about this stuff and how to improve your orgasms. I was reading recently about a Zen practice where they only have an ejaculation. A man only has an ejaculation once every month. You can have sex all the way through the month, but you can only ejaculate once a month. And also the instruction says, but you can't orgasm for more than an hour, only an hour when you ejaculate. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, this is the sort of thing we need to investigate. I mean, to be frank, when I was growing up, when I like was thinking about having an ejaculation or an orgasm when I was younger, I thought it lasted for about 10 seconds, or that was how long it lasted for. And now I'm finding out people that can have orgasms that last them an hour or more than an hour. It's like, what the fuck? What planet am I living, or have I been living on? How did I miss all this stuff out? How have you missed all this stuff out? I know you people don't know about this stuff. I'm sure hardly anybody knows about it. Why don't you hear videos about it? Oh, I very fancy some cheese. Okay, what's going on here? Are we still people making comments? Okay. Hang on a minute. Valkyria looking females. We have a lot of them here, blah, blah, blah. Have you read Philip K. Dick? Who read Philip K. Dick? And what he wrote quite a few books. He wrote stuff. What did he write? Why is my channel's going all funny?
Oh well, when you have to be more careful when you write these things, Shiny Beast. If you just say I'm 63. Oh, I see. There's a little mark. Is that a little mark? Oh yeah, 6'3". Yeah, I see. Yeah, well, I wasn't looking that closely. From where I'm looking, it looks like it just says I'm 63. I just think, well, you know. It sounds like you're saying you're 63 years old. In England, that's how it would look, unless you see the little mark there. But you know, yeah. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. Does make it clearer. So I imagine you're about 37. But you don't have to give your age away or anything. You know, I'm just guessing. You know, bat chain puller. Oh, that's the one. That is the one. Yeah, bat chain puller. Yeah, that does ring a bell. No pun intended or anything. Yeah, it's bat chain puller. That's right. Yeah, Troutmarsh Replica is an earlier album. Yeah, I just got a little bit confused. I'm not heavily into Beefheart. My dad had. He really liked the album. Well, two albums, Clear Spot and Safe as Milk. They were the albums I grew up with, hearing quite often, you know, when I was growing up, when I was very young, in the 70s. They used to get played quite often, Safe as Milk and, the other one, Clear Spot, yeah. Mainly Safe as Milk, though. And I know quite a lot of Beefheart fans didn't like Safe as Milk. They thought it was like the Judas album. They just thought it was like where he went all a bit weird, and they didn't like it. But I think it's pretty cool. And some of his other stuff, you know, like actually Troutmarsh Replica, I didn't really get on with. I do like the Shiny Beast album, though. You know, Bat Chain Puller, but especially that track, Tropical Hot Dog Nights. I like that. You know, I haven't really listened to it that much because I grew up with it's one of those things. When you grow up with music, when I listen to it again, it makes me feel younger. So when I listen to the Safe as Milk album, it just makes me feel like secure and it's like a comfort thing, you know. So I like that. I suppose HRC's busted off now then. Oh, well, 30. Okay. No, you're 30. Oh, dear. Are you a snake then? Are you a snake in Chinese horoscopes or? Depends when your birthday is. You suppose you could be a dragon or a horse. Or maybe, I'm not even sure. Anyway, I think I've got to the end of this video. It's 143 minutes. Oh no, well, yeah, I've finished now. That's it. 1 hour 44. That's like, yeah, I'm 104 minutes. I think I'm done here. Can I think of anything else I need to add at the end of this? No, I've got a feeling I just need to stop. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just getting fed up with making videos, and
I just feel like I need to do less stuff and only come and make videos when I've got a really good video to make, you know. And then when I make a really good video, when I make a really good video, then people maybe will share it, and it probably makes sense to me to make less videos and have more time to do other things, you know. Because making loads of videos and only a few people watch them, it'd be better to make a few videos and have loads of people watch them. From my point of view, you know. So yeah, I've got a lot of work to do. If anyone's got any tips on how to make better videos, I know there's a lot of things I need to do, like get my voice synced in with my pictures and stuff. There's loads of things I could do, but is it really worth it? Have I got anything to say? Why do I want my videos to do well? Who am I aiming them at? I mean, what have I got to say? Have I got anything worth saying? You know, who do I want to say it to? I've got loads of things to think about. Anyway, thanks for watching. Nice to see you, Shiny Beast. I'm going to sign off now. Okay. Thanks for thumbing up and watching and subscribing and etc. Have a great day and a week, I suppose. I didn't really mean that, but, you know, I thought it sounded like a nice thing to say. Okay, bye.